Up everybody, LUI salute you wherever you are, and again 1999 the win, the second Mr. Olympia win of Ronnie Coleman in front of Ken Wheeler. Quite disappointed obviously, and it's a very famous event in bodybuilding Mr. Olympia history. You guys do remember. If you do not, well then please allow me to remind you. So he takes off completely the medals and he does this. I'm number one. This is nothing. I'm number one. Of course, Ronnie did not like it. But that was it. That was a quite special kind of, actually, Mr. Wheeler. This is lately, actually, quite recent, not this year, but he came back as a natural freak, supposedly kind of a promotion for a product as far as I remember. And this was on the same era as 99, 2000, and even 98 when he became quite big, admittedly in a quest to try to box with the Mr. Olympias of that era. Of course, he did not compete in 97 as far as I know. Some rumors were out there, probably by a person named Ray, saying that he was attacked by ninjas in 97, but he was not this big. He brought a kind of a slimmer kind of version, and he won the Arnold Classic back then. Some say it was the second best shape of his life. I do agree with that. Nonetheless, 99, he was admittedly bigger. This was 99 too, if I do recall, the British Grand Prix. He was even bigger. He was 253, if I do recall. Of course, he can't beat Mr. Olympia. So Ronnie was pretty much collecting the prizes and the checks in the follow-up competitions, namely the European Tour, right? Kevin was bigger too, but this is not a usual kind of Flex Wheeler. Definitely went overboard, so to speak, to try to catch in the mass gaining spree, because he tried the aesthetic way and he was now winning. But that is the history. Right now he's coming back this year, as you guys know, to compete in the Classic Physique. And personally, I did not make a video about it, no, not even a post on my Instagram social media, because it is out of respect. I don't want it to be the same drama as last year, Kevin Lev Ronnie. And whatever happens to either Kevin Lev Ronnie or Flex Wheeler, for me, they're icons. They're pretty much legends of old early 90s and even throughout the 90s for that matter. What they have done, it cannot be tarnished by nature, namely aging. Aging happens to all of us, and so it will happen to Flex Wheeler and Dorian Yates and even Phil Heath and so on and so forth. Mostly though, we do recall Ken Wheeler from the marvelous year, very eventful, 1993, coming from two pro wins in a row, namely the Iron Man, which used to exist back then, quite popular show, and also the Arnold Classic. And some people say the Arnold Classic shape of that year was the most marvelous shape ever. Not only that, that said pretty much is probably the best looking, beautiful, aesthetic bodybuilder ever. And they said there are two guys who were the best trunks in the history of bodybuilding. First was Serge Nubret, the French guy of old, right? He was doing battle in Pretoria, 75 versus Arnold, right? In that famous show. And 93, Flex Wheeler. He was just, as I say, listen up, proper. I mean, really proper. For real. I mean, you look at these pictures and the words just come, that they flow. It's like verses of poetry, bro. But tonight, though, although these pictures were marvelous, let me bring you to a previous shape, rather, 1992. In my opinion, it was the year where he pretty much blew out, right? He won the heavyweight of the Nationals, and he was already good. So let's revisit this marvelous year of him, pretty much a quarter of a century ago. Time flies by, doesn't it? Now, this is, of course, 1993 when he placed second to Dorian Yates. It was a year after. He was not as conditioned as basically the Arnold Classic, but even then, he frightened actually Dorian. Dorian said, next year is going to be only me and Flex Wheeler. He is literally a caricature of a man, meaning his muscles are so exaggerated, the bellies are just proper. And bear to know that 93 was also eventful for Yates. He came at 257, one of the heaviest, heaviest Mr. Olympia back then. We never seen something like that. And he demolished everybody. He shocked us all, right? So he was hard to beat. Nonetheless, Flex brought a marvelous package, and quite frankly, we did not see these lines since then. I mean, the way it flows is just so specific, just beautiful, not busy. This was 92 though, right? Look at those muscle bellies in those most muscular pose. You literally can say, is it Photoshop? Is it, well, there is a cut here, but it's not Photoshop. This is real him, for real. He was this exaggerated. This, though, if you guys don't recall, let me give you a few moments to rethink about it. It's kind of an in-between year. It's a trial of a year. It was 1996 Arnold Classic. He placed second to Kevin. Kevin won that year in the Arnold Classic. But this year, actually, Flex came in bigger, but yet softer. He was, coming back from that injury, that accident in 94 when he destroyed his Benz. And he was never able to recover in 95. 95, he was so... I don't know what he placed in 95, like number 9 or something. He was so far back. 96 was kind of testing the water. He was trying this version. He was too soft in a sense, and Kevin won that year decisively. Look at the difference in that famous year, 1992. Quote, Flex Wheeler has made unparalleled improvement in just 2 years. More mass, deeper cuts, and symmetry few can equal. Believe me, few can equal until today, tell you that much. Look at him. Young, full bellies. Everything was flowing well. By today's metrics, of course, you would say that these glutes are not shredded to the bone. But then again, this is early 90s, bro. And he was merely a teen back then. But look at that. Quite frankly, if they do adjust the current division of classic physique by tapering up by ratio, the weight a bit for taller guys, they might resemble something like this if they have the proper genetic. I'm not telling you that next Mr. Olympia will be like this, because quite frankly, Flex Wheeler admittedly is an exception genetically. He is so gifted, it is just insane. This is a proper, as they say, quote, the winner. A peaked body, muscular and massive. That's how Flex shocked the bodybuilding world in 92 when he placed first winning the national. He was heavyweight already, and he was all smile, healthy. Even the quads, they have that sway to them that is just proper. The outer head is just stupendous. The inner, namely the teardrop, there is existent, not busy. And might I remind you, since we forgot about these phenomena nowadays, bubble gut not even once, boys. Bubble gut not even once. And for that he has, crazy arms, good delts. Again, just proper. Now, don't get it twisted. The guy top is, of course, Chris Cormier, who won the heavyweight and overall in 1993. This was 1 year after Flex. He did not beat him, right? Now, Flex, he won the heavyweight and overall in 1992. And even then, he was coming strong. Everybody was waiting for him. It's just poetic. I mean, look at this picture and just admire and basically salute. One other point, though, I do remember right now, talking about this, even this, I mean, all of us applaud, don't we? Let's applaud. 1, 2, 3, applaud. Proper, amazing, properly executed. You know what the IFBB oil spill judges told him back then in the Dorian Yates era, a few years after this? They told him, bro, your chests are not wide enough, bro. It tells you how unaware these guys are, right? It's like telling that to Phil Heath nowadays. They told him, bro, you need to widen them up. So he was trying to do basically to jump as high as these guys are asking him. and he literally had some blood in the chest edges. Those are the chest edges. He had some blood here because he was stretching too much, which is kind of abnormal for his frame. Granted, he's not the widest guy up there. He's not Victor Martinez, yet the bellies are just proper. He is just made this way, and it suited him just well. He was good from the back, from the front, the legs, just the sweet spot, and he could have saved bodybuilding, either him or the version of Kevin Levrone 1992. Of course, that did not happen. This is the same picture, a little bit bigger. Just crop it and put it as a poster. It will live forever. I mean, the symmetry, the balance of this young Ken Wheeler is still unparalleled. It truly is, right? This is where he won first in the heavyweight. Another picture from their 92 session. And this was, I think, the same year, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. This Christmas tree is proper. As a matter of fact, when he advanced in his career in 99, for instance, or 2000, I think he retired in 2002, where he supposedly said he was competing natural in the last Mr. Olympia. He placed 7, if I'm not mistaken, and he said, well, it is mostly due to me being natural. Of course, he had some issues with his kidneys, supposedly not even related to bodybuilding. It is a family issue. So right now he is a kidney transplant survivor. Nonetheless, he never had this thickness that he had in 92 or 93. It was just proper. After his accident, something went wrong, and quite frankly, even though he got bigger, some people said he messed with SEOs. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but he never recovered this. To be noted though, on the same note, his good friend actually, Sean Ray, accused him of having calves implants. I repeat, calves implants for the record, and he somehow forced the hand of the IFBB officials to go to him and test him. They had to do some MRIs on his calves to prove that they were just legit. I mean, if you go and watch the Battle of Mr. Olympia, or the Battle for the Olympia 1996, at the very end of the video, there is an extract where Sean Ray was in his house of back then. He was showing us his Lamborghini Diablo and also the palm trees that he has in Los Angeles. Said, bro, this gives me kind of a flavor of Miami. He was quite rich, and he was on those beautiful, basically, coaches made out of leather, quite expensive back then, and he was ripping everybody else. He was a bro. I was talking about the biceps injury of Dorian Yates. How can he win with a biceps ripped like that? Stomach, bubble gut, and he was talking about the symmetry lacking in some guys, and he also said, I do believe that Flex Wheeler has some calves implants. It is my opinion. They grow so much, it's just impossible. Right? He said that in 96 and in 97. So Flex was tested, and of course they're legit. These are real calves. Those are not implants. For the record, lately actually, Flex Wheeler did confess that he was about to go to the house of Sean Ray to not salute him, if you know what I mean. He was literally going to his house at 2 in the a.m., but it never happened. Thankfully, right now I think they're in good terms. But I think that Ray was a little bit envious of Wheeler. And on record, he confessed that an on Flex Wheeler is Mr. Olympia any day, right? So this is him when he was young. And again, it is just a spontaneous salute video rather than talking about his potential as a classic physique. Whatever he places, I prefer looking at the guy at his height, because again, we're all humans, we all get injuries, we have some flaws. And dearie me, this is 92 again. Wow, I don't see this nowadays. I'm sorry. I mean, let me think. I don't see this. I mean, I can go back to Phil Heath, who is the gift, but not Phil Heath 2016 or whatever. I mean, you know, Phil Heath listens to my videos. He's my friend. I salute him, but I have to be honest. What is true is true. I personally salute Phil Heath 2006. 2006. Go ahead and check Phil Heath 2006 Sean Ray Classic. He was young. He was like this. Proper. But then when he tried to collide with his best friend, Jay Cutler, Mr. Olympia of that era, bro, you're too small. You need to go back to the drawing board and gain. And that's what he has done. He went and he came in bigger to satisfy the judges. They would not accept guys like this nowadays. We'll see if they change, right? They're giving mixed messages. They're penalizing Sas Hirati, who looks just magnificent, just amazing. They gave him number 6 and they placed Juan Morel in front of him. But by the same token, at the same time, they placed Sergio Oliveira Jr. first, who was conditioned, and he was by no means a big guy. I mean, no bubble gut, and he's not a huge guy. He's not a mass monster. So we will see. I mean, how couldn't you not salute bodybuilding if he was just like this? Just this picture, you put it, just admire it, and salute the potential of human muscular development at its optimal fashion. Wow. Just wow. I mean, these pictures, dearie me flex, you were saluted so much back then. Really was, man. That's it again. 1992. Sorry for the picture being cut. We don't see his eyes, but we see the proper last spread. Excuse me, of course, not Dorian-esque by no means, but isn't it the proper balance? Bear in mind, I mean, the bellies that Flex Wheeler has in his arms, Dorian never had them, even before the injury. The way the triceps sweep is there, the connection between the brachialis and the biceps, literally like serpents when he does that back double bicep. This is just proper. This is not Tom Plus in the wheels, but isn't it enough? The guy, they call him Flex because he was so flexible. He was a karate practitioner. He was able to move about. I think that is a sweet spot, and that was it. This is what I was talking about. Look at the very serpent, right? The bicep brachialis, and it goes down, right? Like a roller coaster, and then it goes up. Okay, again, by no means, I mean, these traps are not Dorian-esque, or Bertil, brutal Bertil Fox. It is not the traps of Bertil Fox by no means, but they just flow well. It's not busy. Again, look, it's just proper, and when it goes down, that sweep is just amazing. Look at the sweep. I mean, literally bellies over bellies, baby please, just proper. I think this was basically the sweet spot. If they come back to this era, the level will be so much elevated. Imagine having a lineup like a top 6 guys looking like this, and you struggle, and you have that passion looking far away, and you struggle, and themselves, they do not struggle to hold their bubble gut, because most of the guys now, when they do a back double biceps, there is an Independence Day from the front. The bubble gut bonanza is about to go down like a freaking belly dancer, bro. You know what I mean? This is it. I told you, 92 or 93, the back was so thick, he never regained this for whatever reason. Bertineau, he had an injury in his neck in 94, and the story goes to tell, actually, it is a true story. When he went to the ER, the doctors had to readjust the MRI machinery specifically to go through this thick layers of muscle. They were not able to see his bones. He was that thick. Probably it hindered his training, that's my guess after that, but he never recovered this. And it was not even a mature back. It was not even out of the oven. This was merely a teenager back then, still growing into the game, but then again, he was partying too much with his friend of back then, Dr. Dre. He used to roll with Dr. Dre and Tupac before his, I think no, Tupac was not in the game yet. Was not actually in the West Coast yet. But he was definitely with Dr. Dre, partying too much. And he did a severe accident, wrecked that Mercedes SL 500 of old, if I do recall. Proper. Seriously. How can you upload? Seriously? Can't do that. This is the guy you will upload. Before guys will bash him this year, they will say, bro, he looks not good. They will do the same tantrum that they have done to Kevin Lavroni last year. Please do remember 1992, guys, and 1993 of Ken Flex Wheeler, and just salute, just do a proper salute. And these are backstage, probably unseen pictures for most of you guys. And again, the thickness of this proper back, the Christmas tree was just loyal. married actually with some huge arms is a rare sight. We do see it in actually Crimson Olympia Field Heat, but quite frankly, it's a rare sight. The way it was balanced, bubble gut not even once. It goes to tell that these guys did not have to go to such an extreme to achieve this proper physique. And finally, I think we have a side chest. Is it? Yeah, proper. So that's it. Proper salute was given where proper salute is due. Flex Wheeler is one of the best in aesthetic bodybuilding. Let me dismiss, with all due respect, the version of 98 upward, or even the one we will see today, you know, those tattoos, and also with age. Respect the age. So whatever happens to him, please do not diss the guy. He's doing it for his own reason, out of passion or whatever. But what is right is what. When he was on, he was the very Sultan of Symmetry, or as the late Nasser El Sambari, who was beaten by him repeatedly, he said, bro, and this happened exactly 20 years ago, what I'm saying. The quote of the late Nasser El Sambari happened in 1997 Arnold Classic, where he placed second, and of course this gentleman Ken Wheeler won. He said, bro, he's not only the Sultan of Symmetry, he is the Sultan of Illusion. You know why? Let me tell you a secret. Flex Wheeler back then was about 225 max, 225, 230 tops, and Nasser El Sambari was about 285 on stage. I guarantee you, I have a very vivid memory of that magazine, and I cannot find the picture. I searched for it for years. If you guys found it, please send it to me. 1997, back double biceps, Flex Wheeler versus Nasser El Sambari. But let me remind you, Flex was 230 max, and Nasser El Sambari was 285, the heaviest guy of that era, even heavier than Dorian Yates. And by God, Flex Wheeler looked bigger. He was just bigger. The arms were bigger, right? The bellies, the sweeps were just more impressive. And then he said, he's not only the Sultan of Symmetry, this guy, he is the Sultan of Illusion. That's what's up. Salute you wherever you is on a daily basis. Baby, please be properly saluted.